Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Conversations from Stritch. I'm excited to be here with Dr. Christopher Sint, our provost, again today as we begin to wrap up the end of the calendar year here at Lewis. You know, we have about a week and a couple days left of classes, then finals, and of course all the grading that goes on with that. So I want to say once again how grateful I am to all of our faculty, students, and staff for enduring the resilience that they've showed, all the great things that have happened this semester. We've had some amazing things that we'll talk about over the next few minutes, and then a really exciting group of guests today for our show. I did want to acknowledge a few things that are going on in the broader world that of course impact us at Lewis because we're part of this broader society. So we want to applaud the verdict in the George Floyd murder trial that occurred a couple days ago, and really acknowledge all those who experience the ongoing impact of institutional racism in our society. At Lewis, we remain committed to our university as a sanctified zone. We see that as an aspirational state. We're not perfect, and we are continuing to take steps towards a place in which we treat each other with respect and dignity every day. Next week on Monday, April 26th at 3 p.m., we will rededicate ourselves as a sanctified zone. So that is an online virtual event. We hope as many of you can join us as possible so that we as a community can commit ourselves to that. I think almost all of you know, or most of you know, that today is Earth Day. And next week on Monday, it'll create an opportunity for us to also rededicate ourselves to the commitments of eco-justice. We are excited about using the Sanctified Zone event to celebrate our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion issues, our commitment to Earth Day. And I want to acknowledge all the work that John Lurzak and his team have done over the last week to have events. There have been multiple events that are all focused around Earth Day. Next week, we also dedicate our new solar array, which is actually powering this very show. The lights that are on me right now are coming out of the solar power, which that 2 megawatt array creates. We are hopeful about all the things that are going on campus. We're grateful for all of you for continuing to join us in everything we're doing. And, I want to also mention that we have a visit day next week. We will be welcoming almost 250 prospective first-year students, some transfers, onto campus on Saturday in 2 days. It is an exciting opportunity for us to showcase all the great things that are Lewis University. And I just want to thank, before I turn it over to Dr. Sint, the faculty, our current students, all of the staff who prepare for that visit day, as well as welcome those students and their families to campus and tell them about all of our great programs. So with that, and there's a lot more going on, yes. I want to turn it over to Dr. Sint to talk a little bit about how things are going.
Thanks so much, President Livingston, and hello, everyone. It's great to be with you today. I'm going to begin with some COVID updates. Our positive case numbers in the Lewis community have been declining for a few weeks, and we currently have 1 reported positive case this week in our student community. That's great news. There are also currently 2 students in either isolation or quarantine. So we are pleased that the vast majority of our staff, faculty, and students are able to engage fully in classes and other campus activities in the final weeks of the semester. The village of Romeoville will be holding a 3-day COVID-19 vaccination event on April 26th, 27th, and 28th at the Romeoville Recreation Center. Anyone who lives or works in Will County is eligible, as long as you're 16 years or older, of course. And I'll send out an email later this afternoon with information about how to register for that event. But please register. There won't be walk-ins for that particular one. And Also, there are several other COVID-19 vaccination sites in Will County open to all individuals. And again, later this afternoon, I will send an email to the community with information and a link to sign up for any of those events. Thank you to everyone who has already been vaccinated, as well as those who are in the process of becoming fully vaccinated. We are also aware that other universities have made announcements about requirements of the vaccine in the fall semester for some or all members of the community. We are engaged in our own analysis and dialogue around this issue, and we will make announcements as decisions are finalized. What's really clear to us in our conversations is that we will continue to follow the advice of our national, state, and county authorities, as well as the advice of organizations like the American College Health Association. We also know that regardless of our policy decision about requiring vaccinations, all students will have access to a high-quality Lewis education through multiple options for learning modalities in the fall. So, as you said, a lot of things going on this week, last week, next week. I'm going to make a few announcements about athletics now. We both had the great pleasure of attending the Brother David Delahunty Awards on Monday night. The Delahunty Awards celebrate student athletes who've maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.25 or higher through the conclusion of the last fall semester. 63% of our student athletes reached that bar, and that group, as a group, had an average GPA of 3.6, so it's extraordinary high academic achievement for our student athletes. 3 students from that group received special recognition as Senior Student Athlete Award winners, and they were Casey Kane from women's golf, Daniela Navarrete from women's swimming, and Brandon McCombs from men's basketball. So congratulations to all of our Delahunty winners and to those 3 senior award winners. We want to note that a few athletic seasons have come to a close since our last show 2 weeks ago. Bowling, women's golf, women's soccer, and women's volleyball all finished seasons. Congratulations to all of our student athletes in those sports and to their coaches for their respective seasons. We still have a lot of action this weekend. A couple things to point out among many other competitions. Our men's soccer team is competing in the semifinals of the GLVC Championships against Indianapolis tomorrow at 1:30, and our men's volleyball team is competing in the finals of the MIVA tournament against Loyola University on Saturday night at 7. And I'll turn it back over to you for some other news.
Yeah, so we also have a lot of other kind of co-curricular things, but they're more connected to the curriculum. Just a reminder to all of our students and of course our faculty who are advisors that registration for summer and fall courses is underway. We have thousands of students that have already registered for the fall and the summer, but just want to remind you, summer courses almost a fully online. I think there's a few labs and clinicals that are in person, but functionally an online curriculum this summer. So if you're going back home as a residential student, but you want to pick up a couple courses, the summer curriculum is available. And of course, looking forward to welcoming everybody back in the fall for in-person, mostly in-person curriculum, and you can register for classes now all the way through the end of the semester and of course into the summer. The World Languages program at Lewis University, going to another issue of summer, will offer free summer language immersion programs featuring Russian and Arabic courses. The program was awarded the Start Talk grant from the National Security Agency, the NSA, and the National Foreign Language Center. The 2021 Start Talk program will take place from June 21st to July 16th. Both courses will be offered online. The program is open to high school students entering 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, and to Lewis students who are entering their freshman, sophomore, or junior years. Students will earn 3 transferable credits. You need to apply to the program online by the end of the day on May 31st. So you have a little time, but if you either want to do it yourself or again, you want to do it with a friend, maybe a brother or sister that might still be in high school, you could both take Russian together or Arabic together. great languages to learn. I want to say congratulations to Dr. Soo-Ying Kim, Professor of Secondary Education, who presented a research development study creating pedagogical guidelines for augmented reality, virtual reality technologies in the classroom at the Society of Information Technology and Teacher Education. The international conference took place on April 1st, 2021. I also want to acknowledge that the Lewis University Performing Arts Series has begun, always a thrilling part of the Arts and Ideas Spring season. The Performing Arts Series features a diverse set of live musical performance in short time spans. It's just a few weeks. I know they started about a week ago. The Spring Chorale Concert, Monday night, I listened to that, which was great, from home. The second event invites everybody to join the Ionios Trio for an amazing and inspiring evening of chamber music, which will include pieces by Mendelssohn, Mozart, and Fauré, all 7:30 Monday, April 26th. The third event that's coming up is the Spring Cabaret, which features our Altitude Vocal Jazz group, which will stream at 7:30 on Tuesday, April 27th. We then have our jazz band concert that streams at 7:30 on Thursday, April 29th. And finally, a reminder that a spring production of The Romancers, which started last Thursday but runs tonight and then through Sunday afternoon for its final show. So lots of sports going on, lots of arts and culture going on, and of course lots of studying for finals and writing those last papers. We are excited to introduce our guests, and I'm going to allow Dr. Sint to talk a little bit about why we missed last week and what we're so excited to celebrate today.
That's right, yeah. So last week we took the week off to make room for the 9th annual celebration of scholarship. The theme this year for the celebration was confronting challenges through scholarship, faith, and love. The celebration is our annual celebration of student research and scholarship, showcasing extraordinary work from undergraduate and graduate students from a wide array of disciplines and fields. So formats include poster sessions, concurrent sessions, creative works, and the Brother Joel Damien business plan and business pitch competitions. It's a huge undertaking every year involving students, staff, and faculty mentors. And the entire effort this year was led by two faculty professors, Mary-Beth Desmond from nursing and Matt Domico from psychology. And we're very pleased to welcome Mary-Beth and Matt on now. So hello to the two of you, Matt and Mary-Beth. Congratulations on a very, very successful event. Thanks for your patience, and I'm glad that you're here with us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, you bet. So Matt, maybe I will ask you to answer the first question that we have, which is, could you just, for our audience that is not familiar with the celebration and didn't watch it last week, like so many of us did from our internal community, can you kind of give us a little idea of the breadth of it, and how much is going on, and how wide the diversity is of the different types of programs?
Sure. So Celebration of Scholarship is an annual event that occurs every April at Lewis. And it's an opportunity for all Lewis students to present scholarly work to the entire Lewis community. And students present their work through various sessions throughout the day. Presentations are attended by students, by faculty, by alumni. And it's really an opportunity for our students to share the great scientific and creative work that they've generated all throughout the year, and to showcase and celebrate that work on this big day. So just to talk a little bit more about some of the entries that we received this year, we had 78 total projects, and 165 students participated in Celebration of Scholarship this year. The event is open to graduate and undergraduate students, and we're happy to report that we had 32 graduate presentations and 46 undergraduate presentations. And these presentations that we saw last Thursday were from all colleges across the university. So we had students present from College of Business, College of Nursing, College of Social Sciences and Humanities. So, we really had a large event as we usually do, and it was our first year that we had everything completely virtual. So it was quite an exciting day, and it was great to see so many students excited about their research and presenting it so well.
So Mary Beth, maybe we can bring you into this because, as Matt just mentioned, this was a fully virtual event. So could you talk a little bit about what it was like to try to pull together a virtual event like this, and maybe some of the things that you were not expecting that either were surprises in a really positive way or challenges that you didn't see coming, even though I know both of you have been teaching in this hybrid space for a while, so it's not new to kind of do a Zoom event. But Mary Beth, maybe you could talk a little bit about what it was like to create this virtual event.
Of course. Well, first of all, I'm very thankful that I had Matt as a co-chair. We were a perfect team. And what I learned through the process is we had absolutely everything we needed at Lewis University. Both Matt and I have attended other conferences, and many of our committee members have also attended other conferences where they had these really fancy modes of attending the conference. And we did look into all of that. And then we decided we have everything we need. We had Blackboard, and Sam Kinzer was able to set us up with the sandbox. And so we were able to, we really collaborated with so many people. We learned about how the May Institute had been run. We met with, I believe it was Mike Cherry. We learned how it went for him and his team when they created that. So we did a lot of collaboration and met with Joe Jerka, who helped us with Zoom. So I guess my point is, it's kind of like I was thinking about the students also, that they have all those gifts and talents within themselves as well. And they have the faculty and the support staff here at Lewis to bring them to that moment. And it was the same for Matt and I. And we talked about our different experiences with Zoom, even with the committee, and we learned from each other so that when Matt was going to create the links, he did a lot of research on Zoom, and Joe Jerka helped him as well, to be able to know what we would have to do so we don't have a lot of trouble the day of. I think one of the smartest things we did was open it up 2 days before for us to practice and try to correct it.
Well, I want to congratulate both of you, as Chris already did, and just say it was a great day for me. I mean, I was able to, go to multiple events and, be there at the beginning. We had a great keynote, and then, kind of be at the end with the awards. And it was just a great day. So congratulations to both of you, and of course all the students, but really appreciate your leadership because that really is what ends up creating a day where people feel comfortable, as you said, Mary Beth.
Yeah, I really appreciate that comment, and I want to say something that maybe doesn't need to be said, but I think some people watching might be thinking, oh, this is a great event for students, and it helps them to develop their research skills and their presentation skills, and all of that is true. But the additional truth is that I watch it to learn things. I go, the incredible quality of presentation and the research that our students are doing, it's such a fun day to just go through and go to different panels and to go to the poster presentations, and I just learn a ton of things during that day, and I hope people that are watching, like parents or other members of our community, remember that that it's a huge opportunity just to take some time aside, just as we do with professional conferences. Mary-Beth, could you talk a little bit about the theme and the keynote speaker? How were they chosen, and what were they?
Of course. Well, the way that the plenary speaker is chosen is the Celebration of Scholarship Committee presents candidates who they would like to, the committee to look over, and then we do a vote. And so the committee votes on the chosen plenary speaker. And so this year, we had Dr. Lisa Burkhart, who is an associate professor at Loyola University, Marcella Niehoff College of Nursing. And she's also a health scientist researcher at Heinz VA. And so we were so happy to have Dr. Burkhart as our plenary, and she loved being here just as much as we loved having her.
It was a great speech, and really inspiring about the connection between one's own personal beliefs as well as the impact that research can have on communities, and in particular people in need in our communities. And I found it just really inspiring and a good reminder of all of those connections between scholarship and research and community impact. Matt, I might just ask you now before we're about to welcome our student winners onto the show, but we'd like to maybe take this opportunity to go through all of the award winners for the day and just give them one more recognition. So I think we have some slides prepared to go through that, and I think Matt's going to do that. And we are not hearing Matt. Mary-Beth, do you want to do it? If you can.
Here we go. I think my mic has been off for a moment. So we offered a number of awards this year, and the first two that we'll speak of are representing the humanistic disciplines. So the award for Outstanding Undergraduate Concurrent Session went to Grace Crumbaugh, and that was Which Method Contributes and Upholds True Education. And for Outstanding Undergraduate Poster Session, Decreasing the Prevalence of Surgical Site Infections, Jeremy Samuel, Dana Sobsic, and Vanessa Jaramillo. And moving on to the next category of math and science disciplines, our Outstanding Undergraduate Concurrent Session, the award went to Trevor Kuhner, and the project was titled Home Server, Unifying the Home. And for outstanding undergraduate poster session, the award went to Christian Berzik, and that was cyclin D3 and conserved DNA sequences in transcriptionally modified genes. And then moving on to our graduate project winners, for Outstanding Graduate Concurrent Session, Dispelling Eating Disorders Myths Through Social Media Advocacy by Megan Compton. And for Outstanding Graduate Poster Session, that went to Zan Marie Samoro, and that was a sleep promotion bundle in the intensive care unit. And our most prestigious awards, the Dr. Stephanie Schlachter Excellence in Undergraduate Scholarship Award, goes to the two presenters that we have with us today. That is Katie Horn, who presented The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime Sound Design, and Joseph Drozik for using mathematical models to predict the impact of coronavirus in the Chicagoland area. So both of our Schlachter Award winners receive a $1,000 scholarship as a grand prize for their excellent work. And all of these awards were decided by a panel of faculty who voted and contributed ratings throughout the day for all presenters. So we're really excited to congratulate all of our winners from Celebration of Scholarship.
Thank you, Matt. And so at this time, we would love to welcome on Joseph Drozik and Katie Horn. Welcome.
Hello.
It's great to be with you. So,
Hi.
yeah, great to see you and great to be with you. Congratulations, if we didn't say that yet. It's an incredible honor, an honor named after our previous provost, Dr. Stephanie Schlachter, who was a great proponent of the celebration of scholarship and its development and its support for many years. So it's great honor to have the Schlachter Award. So congratulations. So we want to know, really, as efficiently as you can, as it's a good practice to have. Joseph, I'd like to ask you first. Tell us what your idea is and what you talked about in your presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we all know, a striking number of cases of the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus in the United States, and more particularly the state of Illinois, has highlighted the need to better understand how to reduce its spread while vaccines are being distributed. So we present a compartmental model of COVID-19 transmission, and then using the data available to us, we estimate disease parameters to predict how well different disease prevention scenarios could lower the spread of the coronavirus.
So Joseph, you said in the kind of the Chicago area. So give me a little better sense of was this publicly available data through IDPH? Was it something that you had to go and specifically talk to, I don't know, certain people in different districts of public health? Did you work with hospitals? How did you kind of gather the data? And then what was maybe you talk a little bit about what the conclusions were.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as data goes, the city of Chicago actually collected a lot of data on COVID case rates and death rates and so on. And so we were able to use that data, thankfully, instead of having to go and collect data from various hospitals or anything. And so as far as our results go, we looked at implementing quarantine into our model to see if it would lower the transmission rates of COVID-19. And we, in fact, did confirm that that is the case. And so before Celebration of Scholarship, we had just created a model that also includes vaccinations. And so that would be one thing continuing into the future that we would actually want to complete and see how vaccinations would impact the COVID-19 transmission rates.
And Joseph, this may have been said at some other time, but tell me a little bit. Are you a mathematics major? Does this come out of modeling? Is it, is public health an interest of yours in the future, or are you just interested in kind of applied math? So tell me a little bit about and I don't remember whether you're a junior or a senior, but kind of where you're at, and then if you're going to do another project like this next year at Celebration of Scholarship, or is this going to be something you might continue on in graduate school?
Yeah, so I'm a senior mathematics major at Lewis University, of course. When I first came across this project, it was mostly, I wanted to do something in statistics because that's my field of interest, to be honest with you. I really love applied mathematics and more specifically statistics. And so when this project was presented to me, COVID-19 had just started, just really rose about in our lives. And so I was immediately just yeah, I'd love to take on this project and really, develop my knowledge of applied mathematics and see how we could maybe better society.
That's great. Joseph, could you just talk a little bit more about how it was presented to you? So I know your faculty advisor is Dr. Brittany Stevenson. Was it in a class, or for people who are not familiar with how things get to Celebration of Scholarship, how did it begin?
Yeah, so the benefit of going to Lewis is that, we have smaller class sizes, so you tend to develop a relationship with your professors on an educational and professional level. And so in this case with Dr. Stevenson, her and I had gotten close through office hours and through class, and she came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, you should apply for you should apply for the summer undergraduate research program here at Lewis, and we'd love to have you on as a student researcher." And so, that is how I ended up getting the Celebration of Scholarship. I started in the undergraduate research experience at Lewis and just worked my way up to completing the project and being able to present it.
It's great. It's great. So maybe we could turn to Katie. So Katie Horn, really glad that you're with us as well, and we'll come back. So Joseph, don't go anywhere because we're gonna bring all four of you back in a second. But Katie, maybe you could just introduce yourself briefly and tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Katie. I'm a junior theater and criminal justice double major. And my project was about the sound design work that I did for The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which is a show we did at the Philip Lynch Theater in February before the pandemic hit. So my presentation had to do a lot with how I created sound, my ideas of how I wanted to incorporate certain elements into the production, and just how we cohesively put together all the technical elements for the show.
That's great. So tell me just a little bit more, because again, we have so many, there's such a variety of people that watch this show. So sound design at a theater like Philip Lynch, again, not a huge theater, so it's not like, some people might, think of theaters in Chicago. So what did you, how much does the script play into it? How much kind of did you work with the music department because they have synthesizers? So just tell me a little bit about what that kind of sound design is like. And did you take any coursework that led you into this?
Yeah, so I love our space because it's a very intimate space and there's not a bad seat in that theater. So I wanted to use that to my advantage. This specific show has to deal with a young kid who has autism. And one of my goals with the production was to make sure the audience could see how he feels and experiences daily life. So I placed a lot of speakers around the theater to kind of simulate that overstimulating environment. Especially there's a couple of scenes in the show where he's in a train station and it's a very overpowering, intense environment for him. So I had, there's a part where there are advertisements coming all over the train station. So I had speakers behind the seats, in front of the seats, just kind of all over going at separate times and creating that intense environment. And I also used a subwoofer, which if you go to concerts, it's the kind of speaker that like booms like with the bass. And I use that to incorporate a touch or like a vibration through the floor so that you could also feel that kind of intense situation.
That's incredible. Katie, maybe you could also tell us a little bit about what year you are at in the program and what is your major and where you're from. Why don't you do all of that in one go?
Yeah. I'm a theater and criminal justice double major, which I have, it's definitely very weird, but I really enjoy the arts and social justice. So it's a good fit for me. And I'm from Michigan. So I'm from a small town in southern Michigan.
So tell me about how you got to Lewis then. What did the criminal justice in kind of capture your imagination? Did the theater capture your imagination? Did you know you wanted to do both of them before you came here? And do you have a sense of 2 years from now what you want to be doing?
Yeah, so originally when I came here, I took a tour at the theater and I saw a show and I was like, wow, this is so cool because of the seats. It's just a very like welcoming environment. And I had a meeting with a couple of the professors here. I shadowed a couple of classes. And I was like, wow, I love how small the class sizes are and that I can talk one-on-one with the professors and learn a multitude of different things here. I also was recruited to play athletics, but I have I'm not doing that anymore because I'm very focused on my career and what I want to do after school, which is theater probably. Like I said before, I am very adamant about social justice, and I would love to find a way to incorporate that into the arts, and through my work as a theater artist.
That's great. So I just, as a curiosity, so what was your sport of choice? And then we're going to move back to all four people.
I played golf, and then I also played some tennis.
Okay, great. Well, we're glad it all worked out. We're so excited to have you. And again, I'll just say my congratulations to both of you, Katie and Joseph. Amazing work. I love the variety that is celebrated here. And Chris, we may want to bring all four people back and then ask some general questions.
They're back.
Yep.
And so again, I think we just want to say thank you and congratulations. We could talk all day. I would love to talk about sound with Katie for an hour now. So please feel free to email me if you want to keep talking, Katie. But we are going to close and say thank you to everyone here. Congratulations again to our student winners. And Matt and Mary-Beth, I'm not sure, we probably all said it at one time or another, but this took a huge number of people to be successful. The committee, Professor Chura, Associate Provost Chura, who is sort of the overseer of much of this work, and to all of our faculty like Professor Nelson and Professor Stevenson, who mentored these two students. Just incredible work and commitment to Lewis's efforts around research and scholarship and the meaningful impact it can have on teaching and community and on the world. So it was really a joy to watch the day and to be with you here today. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very much, all four of you, for your scholarship and, of course, for the leadership of the faculty in this whole thing. So thank you all, and good luck with the close of the semester, both the grading of the finals, but also taking of the finals. So, enjoy the last week as much as you can. Thank you all. So as we wrap up today's show, again, I want to wish everybody a happy Earth Day. I want to, we're excited to welcome all the families to campus this weekend. But also, in the next week, we have so many activities going on, and we just are so grateful for everyone who makes these events possible for our students. There's so much exciting, I forgot to mention the Gospel Choir has a concert this Saturday. I mean, again, we could probably go on with 20 different events that are going on. But excited to see some of you at some of the in-person events. So there's, for our seniors, you're picking up your robes and stuff like that. There's still a couple more of those events. Some of the seniors have signed up and I think can still sign up to take pictures with me on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you on Sunday. We can take a few pictures in our robes, which is always fun. And then, of course, want to wish all of you well as you prepare your final papers, projects, and prepare for exams. So many blessings to all of you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a great week.